Hello and welcome to this very special show on the latest Sanjay Leela Bhansali offering, Heeramandi, the Diamond Bazar.
सिर्फ घुंघरू पहन लेने से औरत तवाइफ नहीं बनती है। दिन के और रात के सारे हुनर सीखने पड़ते हैं।
Set in an elite house of courtesans in Lahore, in British-ruled India. This is Sanjay Leela Bhansali's first series for an online platform, Netflix. It's apparently the most expensive web series ever made. It has all the beauty, elegance and opulence of a Bhansali movie. And most importantly, strong, beautiful heroines of substance. Joining me on NDTV are Manisha Koirala, Sonakshi Sinha, Aditi Rao Hydari, Richa Chadha, Sanjeeda Shaikh and Sharmin Segal. Thank you all very much for being here, the amazing women of Heeramandi. Manisha, it's lovely to have you back, looking as stunning as ever. In fact, even more so with all the experiences you've been through in a Sanjay Leela Bhansali production. Tell us about it. How did Sanjay Leela Bhansali first reach out to you and what made you take this on?
Thank you for your kind words. Basically, when I was offered this project, I was in Nepal gardening and one of my hobbies. And I was really thrilled. I waited for such a long time. You know, it took 28 years of waiting, and finally Sanjay came with a good project, and I said, Sanjay, don't take another 28 years to offer me another good one. So yes, I've seen his movies after Khamoshi, and brilliant. You know, it's so much pleasure, so much joy it gives me to see his career graph, and one after the other brilliant film he's made. And so at this age and stage in my life, when I was offered this, I was really thrilled. And you know, like when you're younger, you take on many projects. But I feel now I would just want to do one or two good films where I can give my 200, 300%, and then just recover from the whole process and then come back. So this was apt. You know,
you've said that you feel like you're living a second life after your victory over cancer, and really I think all your experiences. Tell us why you said that.
Basically, I meant, you know, I had fourth stage of cancer, and to get a chance to life after that was almost like a second chance to life. And I wasn't sure I was going to live, and I wasn't sure how long I was going to live. So that apart, in my work life, I think Heeramandi, to work in such a brilliant project with Sanjay Leela Bhansali as a director, and to play this character which has so many layers, and so for me it's like a second life for an actor, you know, on the screen.
No,
so
and I think this is really a role that is going to be one of the defining ones of your brilliant career. But Sonakshi, in that sense, and you heard Sanjay Leela Bhansali say that, you know, Mughal-e-Azam, Pakiza, those are some of the inspirations that he drew from. I mean, that's actually, those are legendary. For you, coming from a very different space in a sense, you've had so many different roles, this was a real challenge. Tell us about that.
It really was, and that's what I appreciated the most about it, that finally someone was challenging me to this level. At least this man understands what I can do. He's, you know, he's really a person who, वो जब आपको देखता है तब वो समझ जाता है कि आप किस तरह के actor हो. And Sanjay sir had produced my second film, which was Rowdy Rathod, and I was at the peak of my commercial masala pot boilers that I was doing at that point of time. And since then he used to tell me that you don't know what kind of actor you are, and tum mein wo namak hai. He used to keep telling me namak. I used to never get it. And you know, we did meet to collaborate on things in the middle over the years, but somehow they didn't work out, and I'm so glad that, you know, this happened when it had to happen, after I got the experiences that I did over the years, and now I just felt worthy of playing this role for him. And he really knows how to tap into your extreme potential, and I'm so happy that a director did that to me at this point in my career, where he really sat and said, you know what, I'm going to show the world how they've never seen you before. And for an actor, that's the best thing to happen to them. So I'm forever grateful. Really.
Absolutely. I think the audiences are going to really be surprised when they watch each of you on this. And Aditi, I think when I saw the episodes I did, I think really it's the romance that comes out. I think the yearning, a woman's the vulnerability, and really at the end the idea of love and romance at a time set in the freedom struggle. You, of course, are in a lovely place where romance goes, but define for us what the Sanjay Leela Bhansali, what romance meant for you in Heeramandi, set as it is amongst courtesans.
I think, working with Sanjay sir, apart from it being like mind-altering in many ways, it's also so much about poetry and musicality. Like everything that he does is almost musical. Every scene, you can almost hear music. You can hear music in the silences. And there's so much artistry in every single thing that he does, and so too in the romance, of course. So his romance is so much more than just love, It's like as a little girl when I learned dance, it's like that Shringar Ras and all that it encapsulates. And his romance is that, because he also has knowledge of the classical
and
arts.
Incredible dances you're doing in this.
Yes.
Was that difficult? Because with the beautiful ghagras and lehengas that you're wearing.
It was hugely challenging also because I don't come from a Kathak background. But also I was in the best hands. Sanjay sir really, he lives, breathes, sort of sleeps cinema. But he also knows so much about dance and music and the classical art forms.
Is that translating into real life as well? Congratulations on your engagement.
Thank you.
I'm going to ask, because I think what struck me the most also was that how strong each one of the heroines in this series are, It's nice to see sometimes male actors as supporting cast. Of course, each role is very important. Each character was extremely important. But I think how strong and the individual path for each woman. Did you find that, Richa, interesting? Because, often in mainstream cinema or whether it's web series, you don't see that happening so much. And often our OTT is also becoming Bollywoodized in a way, So
yes.
Finding strong women characters is harder and harder for an artist.
I've only come from non-mainstream strong female parts. So for me it was the opposite. It was this woman who wanted to be in love, wanted to be respected and accepted and wanted something to hold on to. But she was really a victim of the circumstances, and you've seen the first episode, so you know the kind of world it is. I think that it really takes a lot of guts to make a show of this scale, and it shows the exemplary confidence that the filmmaker has in his own vision, so that he can cast who he wants to and choose people according to their specific skill set, and then mount this huge show which will go out into the world as an offering from India or the Indian subcontinent. So, I think all of us, for me it was diametrically opposite to the last time I was here promoting Fukre, for instance. It was just a 360 degree, if not 180 degree complete turn for me. Gave me an opportunity to do things I haven't done so much of, like lip sync songs and things like that. So very interesting.
But I want to ask Sonakshi, because both of you are still quite new, so I'm going to ask Sonakshi, that being a woman actor in the Hindi film industry, it has wonderful glamour, and it's also more and more roles coming of substance, but they're still not that common. How do you find the difference really when women are treated on equal terms, or when women have as much to do in terms of their roles? You mentioned Rowdy Rathore. You've seen there's a whole genre which is very much that you're the supporting or the good-looking heroine or the arm candy.
It's rare, but it's definitely improving. In my 14 years, it started off with me doing films where the hero was everything. And there are certain directors even today who still live in that mentality. If the hero is on set, nothing else matters. They're literally worshipping the ground that they walk upon, and everybody else is secondary. People still have attitudes like that. It's not that they don't. But I guess you have to kind of make your way. At that point of time, I was very, very new. I was getting the opportunity to be a part of these big films, so, you know, anybody would jump at it.
Yes.
And I did. And, you know, eventually I realized that, you know what, maybe this is not what I want to continue doing. And those films gave me the recognition and gave me the courage and the power to shoulder films on my own, which is when I sort of broke away from that and started doing very strong female characters in films that were led by me. And, you know, so everything is a journey. Everything, you just have to find your own way. And I think that's the case with every woman. No matter what walk of life you're in, you're always just trying to find your way, which is the sad truth, but it is the truth. And I think as women, we have to support each other, we have to move forward with each other, we have to help each other grow, and yeah, just keep at it. And we are definitely stronger than people give us credit for. We just have to realize that about ourselves. So
I want to say that though the first film I saw of yours was not Dabang, it was Lutera.
Really?
And it was, and you know, pretty early on in the career to do a part like that. I mean, even though there was all these masala films being made, it was a very strong and very sweet character and a beautiful film.
thank you so much.
Did you find that as well, that in a sense that they know that each of you are heroes here on this set, which is really a rare thing, I think, in the film industry. I'm saying film, but even in OTT now, because it's just a different platform. How did that work for you, and how do you think that gave you space as an actor as well?
Sonia, I've come from a medium of television, where television, the leads are the heroes. Like the female-oriented characters are stronger than the male-oriented characters. So it's always like, humne bachaya hero ko, you know. I've come from that medium. In mainstream, of course, it functions a little differently, but I think somewhere OTT has kind of, you know, like helped that the typecasted narrow-mindedness of people. So it's very evolving, and we've come from the set of Sanjay sir, where 80%, 70% of the crew was, it was female. Everyone, like the ADs were assistants, they were female, and sir gives immense respect and reverence to not even just actors, but to the people on set, you know.
This is coming out on something like Netflix, because you're really taking a very typical Indian experience and making it global. How did you find that? I mean, this is your debut. So how did you find this whole experience of being on such a huge project which is going to go global, and how do you think Netflix really is going out of the box in this?
I mean, I've assisted Sanjay sir before, so I've seen the world that Sanjay Leela Bhansali creates very up and closely, and as have our Indian audiences. They've gone through all his, from Devdas to Bajirao Mastani to Hum Dil De Chuke Sanam to Padmavat till now Heeramandi. They're kind of familiar with it. When I take myself out of that entire mindset and look at it from a global standpoint, I'm like, I don't think people sitting in their homes all around the world have ever witnessed something like this before. So I think the international response that you're going to get on a show like this is going to be far more interesting to see than what people of our mindset who've already experienced this before, what their approach is. And also, like, yeah, I'm debuting on OTT, but like, as an actor, having acted in 2 films before this and now doing this, it's just like, I mean, I don't know, maybe even if I had done as many films as Manisha ma'am, it would still be this. But this whole experience working with Sanjay sir has just been like out of this world.
That's wonderful to hear, and I think it's also wonderful to see so many different generations of actors here. And Manisha, you started your journey before before the other cast members here. Yeah. What is it like? We're talking about women-oriented roles, and everybody had a different experience.
Yeah.
But when you came in, it was quite different. I mean,
I
it was
agree.
about
I think also I just wanted to add on to that when Smita Patil ji or Shabana Azmi ji or Deepti Naval and all I think we had strong women as
they were the flag bearers.
Yeah, you know, and then there was a shift, I think, into whatever, and I was fortunate to be working with Manisha, Mansoor Khan, you know, Sanjay Leela Bhansali, Khamoshi, and few very good directors, and so in those films I portrayed a different character than normal, but yeah, 70 to 80% of my project has been typical Bollywood style. And when you're doing those films, your mindset is also like that. But I was actually fortunate to be working with some really legendary good directors with some interesting character. I count those projects, So.
But coming in as an outsider, I remember when you came during Fukre, you talked about the exploitation that perhaps you had personally, or people trying to exploit you, and you saying, I know my limit, this is not what, I'm not going to do this, I'm going to do it on my terms. But has that changed? Do you see a different industry today, more welcoming to women? What do you think are the big changes you actually see? And what would you say from your journey, what would you tell young actors today, young female actors today?
It's like if you have a lawyer in the family, it's going to help you get to the bar, to help you understand the ecosystem better. But that's about it. Because I see that the flip side, after having worked here, I see that maybe the pressure on Sharmin is slightly different than what I would experience on a set. Maybe the expectations from Sonakshi in her debut film are different from what people would. My mom's a teacher, like I can just do whatever and they'll still be happy. But so it works both ways. First, just to set that straight. And the other thing is, I always feel like you can get exploited in several ways. It's not just the obvious tacky ways that are discussed in stupid films. But you could be exploited on, say, you could get paid peanuts for your first few projects, or your last few checks could bounce. And you could still be working with the famed, celebrated avant-garde director, or or a film established film production house, or whatever. It could still happen to you. So it takes a while to learn the ropes. The only thing today I feel like is more easy, because everyone has the internet, so they have sort of their own way to build an audience. You are Sonia Singh, you're sitting in this chair, you have 30 plus years of experience. I, with my mobile phone camera, can go and do a tic-tac tomorrow. Will it be the same quality? That's what tic-tac is called, a tic-tac, when you do
See, this is my generation, tic-tacs on TikTok.
That's a valid point.
Yes, absolutely.
And I was just seeing that most of the actors who want to, they would probably go to the gym, then go to the acting school. So I think priority should be an acting school or acting coach, or focus should be on performing.
Because that's the heart of it, really.
Exactly.
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 And that's what gives you career longevity. That's what shows through on screen.
And
you
it's sad to see that a lot of people today don't really focus on their craft.
Yeah.
Their concentration lies in many other things, most important being the way they look.
Airport looks.
Which, I mean, it is a part of our profession, there's no denying that. But it's not everything.
Yeah, I want to take, Sonakshi, what Richa had said earlier, that that there are two sides to this of being being an insider versus outsider. Now you're an insider, no one's going to mess with the famous Shatrughan Sinha's daughter, but you had your own challenges and struggles. How would you see those, and what would you tell a young actor today?
I would say if you have a dream, follow it. Nobody can control to whom they're born. And everybody, I feel, is put in this world with a certain purpose, a certain destiny. I also did not choose acting. Acting chose me. While growing up, I never wanted to act. I had zero interest. I didn't grow up watching films. I used to only play sports. I was the biggest gundi in my school. And cut to, I've studied fashion designing. I've loved being in college, being in that college. I used to ace my classes. I was student of the year in fashion designing, all of that. Yeah.
The real student
of the year. Suddenly I've graduated from that, and the next thing I know, I've been put in this film. So it's really like they chose me. I did not, it's just destiny. So I think everybody comes with their own destiny. A lot of people come with their dreams. Some have to work harder than others.
But how would your answer say that perhaps acting chose you because of the family that you were Shatrughan Sinha's daughter?
No, I don't think, the people that I started out with, I don't think that, firstly, they had given a lot of people from the outside chances in their films that they had produced and made before. And I feel they were invested a little bit more than you would say that, they're just not picking a pretty face or which family she comes from. They probably did see something in me to offer me that particular role.
No, and it was a great day. It was a great day.
Yeah, so he told me, Arbaz specifically told me that, this is one film we're working on and I think you're perfect for that role. And I didn't see it at that point in time, but he saw it. So people, really do put some thought into it. We might think otherwise.
No, of course.
But,
Aditi,
but they do.
Aditi, because again, you came from a completely non-filmy background. Your experience of being in the industry and today really having such a dream role today.
I mean, yeah, I also actually didn't grow up watching too many films. In fact, I've said this many times, but I saw Bombay and Manisha ma'am doing Kehna Hi Kya, and I was like, that's what I want to do. And I just wanted to be a Mani Ratnam heroine. It was my 1 point agenda was to be a Mani Ratnam heroine, and cut to then I saw her in Khamoshi and I was like, oh, these two people. And I literally have lived that dream from Mani sir to, and I went back to back when I was shooting Kartraveli Day, which was a love story that I did with Mani sir, and straight, like 3 days after I finished that film, I was on Sanjay sir's set shooting Padmavat. I was like, there is some universe's hand on my head. So, but I feel like, when you were talking about exploitation and all, I feel like exploitation, of course, it's everywhere, it's rampant. But I think it's also, however much we say that, sometimes you can't help it, etc., etc., it's also about, the power also lies with us to not normalize it. When we normalize it, that's when it becomes problematic. And to look at it in this face, however difficult it might be for you at that point, and realize that actually the power to say yes or no for whatever it is, not just the CD stuff, general, everything, every single decision in your life, that power actually lies with you. However new you are, however young you are, however naive you are, however kaddu you are, literally. That power lies with you and no one can take that away from you. And you are the sum total of the decisions that you make and what it is that you stand for. And I feel like if you have that with you, through whatever it is that you're doing, that really gives you a lot of, like, there's a sort of innate self-respect, a security, and a kind of fearlessness. Maybe a childish fearlessness, but it's there. And I feel like that's the only way to be in a world like this, which is actually, to me, I really believe this, our world is about creativity. It's about love. It's about beautiful things. And it's up to us to choose the light and to not look at the darkness.
I think that's a lovely message, really, to go out. But I mean, it's just been so wonderful talking to all of you. But Sonakshi, I have to say, because I know what's been going viral, and it really is that amazing song, which apparently was done in one take.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it was done in one take, and with that absolutely.
Were you actually drunk for that?
Not a drop.
Not a drop, no authenticity. Because Shah Rukh and Devdas apparently in Sanjay Leela he had drum to portray it. So what about you?
No, not at all. In fact, I still don't even know how to narrate this entire experience because I still can't believe that it happened. So I had rehearsed for a couple of days before the choreography of the song that it was supposed to be. And I've landed up on set after rehearsing. We've shot till about 3 p.m., done the hook steps that were taught and everything. Kruti Mahesh, who's choreographed the song, beautifully. And we did that, and suddenly Sanjay sir said, you know what, I don't want to do this. And he scrapped the whole thing on set that day. So 3 p.m. we start. We're sitting there, he's calling the ADs, making them dance in front of him, just for like inspiration, ki what all can we use in a song like this. So one guy is dancing like Salman Khan, one guy is dancing like he's been electrocuted with one live wire, one guy is like gyrating on the floor. So this is really funny instances. And then he just kept watching them, and I thought he's simply just entertaining himself. And then cut to, it's 7 o'clock, and he says, okay, you know what, over here you do this, then get on the table and you do that jungly dance very well. So just do that on the table, then come down, take this chair, sit here, they'll press your hands like that, and then you go and catch the hook step. It was decided there and then.
And I'm not going to let you go without seeing that, Sonakshi. But first, Richa, congratulations to you as well. So I've said congratulations to 3 people here. Congratulations in advance.
Thank you.
So how did you do a 35-kilo ghagra and those dances with this happy moment of course, you're expecting your first child?
Oh no,
That
but
was
I
before.
was not expecting
okay.
then. Although I felt heavier than I do now in that costume. Yeah, I think I sent Sanjay sir a joke the other day that this is like a marriage bureau. Through the thing, I shot a song I think 10 days before I was to get married. Sharmin got married. Aditi, of course, got engaged. Now we are on our way.
The lucky. So then, Sonakshi, your turn next, and your.
I didn't say that.
So Sonakshi, your turn next. Now, but first we have.
For your wishes.
Will you tell us who? Will you tell us?
I will send it to the
Have you chosen the boy?
Let me choose na. Then I'll
Okay.
tell you.
Okay. Also, all of you are saying Sanjay sir, so I think Sanjay sir is going to end up choosing. But let's hear that wonderful song. There are many beautiful ones, but let's hear Sonakshi. We have to see.
तिलस्मी बाहें थामे काटू मैं दिल की शामें तिलस्मी बाहें थामे काटू मैं दिल की शामें पर्दे या चांद की चांदी सोने जैसे धन में लाके खाइया 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 हाँ कसमें खाइया 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 हाँ कसमें खाइया खाइया खाइया
What a wonderful way to end the show. Thank you so much, all the beautiful women of Heeramandi. Thank you.